Jolan Drew, Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus One. I am Admiral Tarek of the Dreadnought RIS Galia X-Ray as we continue our campaign against the United Federation of Planets as the Romulan Star Empire. And last time, unfortunately, we had a crash. Although it does appear that we did not lose all that much information in that crash. So, let's just kick things right off and continue on. No reason not to. So let's pop over here and immediately throw ourselves into a mission. We are currently saving up for a King Condor class heavy dreadnought, although I guess it would be a battleship. It's probably the biggest, baddest battleship we can possibly get. And so we need, I believe it's 12,800 and something prestige. Although we're sitting on about 3,000 prestige right here if we were to sell our little Gondor. Well, it's not really a little ship, although technically in Starfleet Command, or at least this version of the mod by Firesoul, Orion Pirates Plus as it is, this is a light dreadnought. And I say that it's a light dreadnought for two very simple reasons. But the first reason is a visual reason. This here design is the exact same for what we know is actually the light dreadnought class. So because of that, it's the same hull design. And two, and this is the more important and I feel more compelling reason, our high energy turn chance is 100%. That's what makes me think for sure that we are some kind of heavy dreadnought, or some kind of light dreadnought. Even though technically, I suppose in Starfleet battles, the Condor class that we're currently flying is one of the largest and most powerful dreadnoughts in the Romulan arsenal. So, either the game's wrong, or this is a really nimble and fun machine. Although we do know that it is a nimble and fun machine. I am debating about how to engage you, because I really want to go after you hard, but you're an SCSX, right? No, you're a CVAX. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to set you to defensive mode, and we're going to set... we'll keep you guys on normal mode. The reason we're setting this to shotgun mode is to put out 5 plasma torpedoes. When you set it to defensive, it generates a certain number of F-type plasma torpedoes, depending on the size of the mount. So an R-type plasma torpedo, I do believe, is 5. The S is 3. I don't think the G can fire in defensive, but if it can, it would be 2. And it'll fire at every single target within range. And unfortunately, we were not reinforcing our shield, and that was bad. It'll fire at every single target in range, which I believe is 10. Don't quote me on that. We're not 100% sure. I don't use defensive torpedoes all that often. And I don't think it can be dodged with weapon systems like the... Oh, wrong button. I need this button. With systems like a Wild Weasel. I really don't think it can be. So, you are getting this, and this. You are getting this, and this. And then I need to target somebody over here. That's fine. You will get this. And yes, we are going super slow motion, just to make sure that I could get the timing right. Fire the plasma torpedoes now. And all weapons. The R-type plasma torpedo did not fire, but the fighters also didn't engage, which is interesting and surprising. This does kind of suck, though, because they've broken off into 2 very nice groups, and that's a problem. Because now I can't get a good shot on them. Mine. We're going to try and bust them up just a little bit. I do want to try and get this R-type plasma torpedo off, but I don't want to target at anything not worth it. Our R-type plasma torpedo does appear to be unloading. Need another mine. Unfortunately, not going to have one. I think we're going to hire... Ow, I forgot. He's got Gatling phasers. We have not been paying nearly enough attention. So, as long as we're getting this high-energy turn going, let's get all the plasma going. And there, that's the defensive plasma torpedo. Oh, that's everything we ever wanted. So we managed to knock out 1 fighter group in its entirety, maybe even 2 fighter groups in its entirety. We've taken out most of it. Unfortunately, we have also taken a pretty decent amount of damage. So we're going to set our torpedoes back to normal mode. We're going to target you. And yeah, it's time to get our little pseudo-frigates into the fray. I deliberately did not launch them specifically because I was worried about the fighters coming in on us. We are full power, apparently. Unfortunately, he's in an angle that makes me a little bit nervous about trying to deploy my pseudo-frigates. So we're turning into him. Get a mine out here. And I do want to fire a plasma torpedo into you. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a good shot. I don't want to get that close because of that. Tractor defense is active, and we will be able to avoid most of that. No, didn't quite get out of it, but we're still safe. We can now deploy our pseudo-frigates. He's traveling away from it. We'll set them to harass mode, keep them on the outside of the range. That way they don't get smashed by his Gatling phasers. We're down to 3 of them right now because of previous mission problems. And we do have 4 plasma torpedoes ready to go. I don't quite want to stealth yet. I do want to still stay a little bit active here. Partially because I want to bait out incoming fire. That way it keeps them off my pseudo-frigates. Each one is carrying 8 plasma torpedoes. Oh, that's what I'm going for. That's my primary target. S-type plasma torpedo. We're going to take them out right away. Don't want to waste any time at all with this. Because they can and will annihilate my pseudo-frigates. They're very good at it. There we go. Got him. I did take a plasma torpedo. It also took a fairly significant amount of phaser fire. And I am going to try and bring it in on this one. Thankfully, he is wasting quite a bit of firepower there. This and this. Can I deal enough damage to you? Phasers? Yep, phasers got him. Alright, so I think he's out of... I think he's completely out at this one. Nope, he's still got more. So he called him back early. I need to keep coming around. Well, let's get this R-type plasma torpedo on target. And an F. Spit the F at him. And you are traveling away from him. That's probably actually going to run this plasma torpedo dry. I want to set you up to enveloping. I want to set you up to enveloping. Do it early. That way we don't have to waste as much time. And I'm going to continue to focus on these fighters. They're not as dangerous as they could be. Potentially, these fighters, if I ever get around to fixing them, they can be monstrously dangerous because they'll have, you know, photon torpedoes and missiles and all that. But right now, they're just Hawks. They only have Phaser 3s on board. But that is enough armament to wipe out my pseudo-frigates. So, all phasers. Keep blasting away. Oh, one more left. It is going to get back home. He is punching out photon torpedoes into us. And we need to avoid getting too close. Stealth. Get under cloak right now. So he did dump a Wild Weasel. That's not bad. That's fine. We'll slow down a little bit more. I do want to see if we can't get some charging going. We're really not getting any charging going, are we? So, taking a little bit of fire. Fortunately, we are cloaked, so he's not being particularly accurate about it. And if I can show off my Plasma Fs, would my Plasma S's and R's charge? Oh, speaking of which, R, I want you in enveloping mode as well. So he's starting to pick up speed. He's no longer being protected by his Wild Weasel. He is starting to take hits from multiple angles. Doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of options anymore when it comes to fighters. He may have one group left, and if so, that's great. He's also starting to have to use his Gatling phasers to defend himself against the incoming photon torpedo, or plasma torpedoes, which means it's much less effective in case we get too close. So we'll come out of cloak once again. Cycle this, just make sure that we're getting an accurate reading. We are not. One of our phaser ones is up. So we'll patch that up as best as we can. I do want to get enveloping torpedoes on him. Unfortunately, it's going to take us some time to do that. And I think we're flying in towards a mine. Almost. That course should be fine. Actually, we do need to come a little bit to starboard to avoid that. He's doing a speed of 12, which is not fun. He's increasing speed. And wow, that hurt. We had a really decent shield there, and he's just knocking it down to red mode. Cloak. Because I'm expecting Gatling phasers. And we got out of the cloak, looks like, just in time. Unfortunately, those missiles are still heading our way. And we did still take the hits from the Gatling phasers. So, not fun. And can we burn these missiles down, or are they going to come in? We've got one more left. I would like to burn it down. Come on. Shut off. Lose lock. And it did. Okay. Perfect. Keep an eye out on the direction we're traveling. I do not want you to shoot at me. Unfortunately, you probably will. One of our S-type plasma torpedoes is ready, so we will be able to decloak and basically pop an enveloping torpedo right on top of him. We're going to slow down, and it is on the side that we want him to. I don't want to decloak right now. He still has 2 Gatling phasers ready to go, so that's going to suck. So we'll wait till we get to a range of 3. Otherwise, he'll be able to really slap it in our face. Our nuclear space mine detonated, had no target. That'll eat up anything. And those were not sent our way. They couldn't have been because we were under cloak at the time. How did he fire it? We were cloaked. That's some bullshit. We need to get this torpedo off right now because it'll exist for a short period of time. Unfortunately, he's on the wrong side. Although I call shenanigans on that. He should not have been able to fire a missile at us while we were under full cloak. All phasers. Let's start really laying into him a bit. Set our systems back to normal. I know we didn't get the R-type plasma torpedo into him. Keep firing. Keep firing everything you've got. He doesn't have a shuttle bay anymore. More phasers. More phasers. Come on. All weapons. Hit him. Ow, we took a photon torpedo to the face, which is never a good hit. And that seems to have knocked out his tractor beam. So our little pseudo frigates having our back on this one. Oh, crap. Let's avoid the mine. And also try to avoid damage from that. We have too many threats right now to worry about. Gonna patch you. Gonna patch you. Come on, there. Plasma torpedoes take a while to fix. And laying into him there. 33 damage. Once we kill these hawks, they're not going to be in the fight anymore. So there is that. I am somewhat looking forward to that. Layout with some phasers. I think, yeah, our pseudo frigates have definitely got him. He's down to a speed of 0.3. Most of his real weapon systems are offline. And how much damage is this going to do? That was a long-range shot. Did 11 damage. Ugh. Not fantastic. I would like to get over here and try and protect my little pseudo frigate. So hey, you've taken a ton of damage. Come on home. You've lost pretty much all of the weapon systems that I think are worth the time. So fire an R-type plasma torpedo into him will deal a nice, decent chunk of 50 damage to it. And yes, I know I'm prioritizing fighters over destroying the mothership, but the mothership is not all that dangerous anymore. So a nice big hit right there, 35 damage. Unfortunately, not as much as we would have liked, but apparently, nope, they took out the carrier. Good job, guys. Not our smoothest mission ever, but decent enough. Also, we were heading home for repairs anyway. Well, kind of, sort of-ish. 274 prestige, that's a little disappointing. It was a tougher fight than I thought. Unfortunately, data recovery or an asteroid base assault. We're going to go on data recovery. We currently do not have any armor left on the ship. And we're down to 3 pseudo frigates of 4. So, yeah, we want the option to be able to just sprint to the finish. So, currently squaring off against a XCA. Oh boy. But we are being escorted by a DXD, the Devil Slayer, as well as our other friend, the Dire Slayer. So the 2Ds. An XCA, of course, being a remarkably dangerous ship, and we have a busted plasma torpedo launcher. Let's fix that. We're also getting low on spare parts. We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spare parts to go. So let's try and avoid dying. Torpedoes to enveloping mode, of course. One of the greatest strengths that the X-type series of ships has is their phenomenal shields. You take those down, and they're still incredibly dangerous, but they're manageable. So we're going to just slowly sort of saunter into this fight, and when it happens, we're going to unload an absolute metric ton of firepower into his forward shields. We do also have, of course, our 3 pseudo frigates, which we will use as a backup, and we're going to go this and this, so we're wasting 6 points of power on ECM, but I do want to make sure that we get powerful, good hits on this one. So let's check our power usage, make sure that we don't go too far. It's actually kind of too far, because those photon torpedoes that he's got, because he's going to have 6 heavy photon torpedo launchers, even at range in proximity mode, will deal 8 damage. So they are a nasty piece of equipment. We're going to have to pay close attention to them, make sure that we don't take too much hits. We are, of course, providing a defense shift of 1, which is very good because photon torpedoes are especially vulnerable to ECM. But he is laying out, what are you, the Dire Slayer or the Devil Slayer? And we're going to set up and basically try and fry him. So wait until he's actually sort of going in our direction. Otherwise, if we fire the pseudoplasma torpedoes from this range out here, he won't care about him because he's traveling away from him at a speed of 20. Hey, Devil Slayer, come back in this direction. Thank you. And pseudos. So all of our pseudo torpedoes right on into him. We're going to try and bait out a wild weasel. USS Lee. Powerful name for a CA. Let's see if he responds to it. He does. Excellent. All right, now is the time to strike. So we shall set them to harass and harass. Apparently we lost another one of our pseudo frigates. Really? That's really disappointing, actually. So the missiles are going in on him, and he's not covered by the attack ship, so all plasma torpedoes engage. Hit him with everything we've got. So laying into him, managing to get through some of his shields, and causing some nice damage on there. He didn't have any sort of attack shift on us, so his ECM is basically a non-factor at this point. And we're going to steadily fly away, set our plasma torpedoes back to normal mode. We don't want to be wasting the power, and he's down to a speed of 9.4 and basically has only 2 very light red shields. So a perfect position for us to be in. I'm going to keep our pseudo-frigates in harassment mode. That stern Gatling phaser armament is astonishingly powerful. We used to have it back in Season 1 when we were flying an X-Series battlecruiser squadron. Those stern-firing phaser Gatlings would just maul open enemy ships. We'd hit them hard with the photon torpedoes in front and heavy phasers, and then as we'd pass through, we'd rake them with the phaser G-fire. It was incredibly effective. But he will not have that advantage in this case because he is, well, basically done. Hit him with a whole bunch of phasers. Unfortunately, we're crossing a little bit closer to him than I wanted, but any of the weapon systems that we really would care about are no longer in effect. And now he is fried. Good job, everybody. Oh, wait, no, the mission's not over. But we can set to green alert, and we can make our course for... Yeah, I did click on it. We'll just click on it there. Set our course for that. Increase the speed of time to the maximum. And we'll just zoom on in. Full power. 2 engines. So now we have to fly to the listening post, take the information, and run away. The interesting thing about the way this mission is scripted, and I'm 90% certain it's a mistake, is if you sneak to the listening post and steal the information while there's still enemies on the field, the mission will immediately end. But if you destroy everybody and then go to the listening post, you then have to fly off the map. So it's a little bit frustrating because you do have to then go the extra distance to get off the map and, you know, avoid nothing at this point. So it's just a waste of time. But we can admire the glorious visuals, the absolute beautiful shapes of the nebulas in the background for the HD texture pack. Absolutely lovely. And about to pass off the field and to warp speed. Mission, of course, complete because we are really good at our job. Although, unfortunately, we are down to only 2 pseudo-frigates right now. That's going to cost quite a bit of cash to replace. But we may be hopping immediately up to King Condor, I kind of hope. 350 prestige. Unfortunately, the data gathered from the listening post contained nothing useful. So now we can pop back home. Hi, we are home. We're looking for 12,800 and something or other. Please? Pretty please. With a cherry on top? Looks like not so much. It's actually really disappointing because we're basically at the point where we can afford it. Somewhere? Anywhere? Nope. Well, it looks like we're going to have to do more missions and cause more damage. So, let's go to supply. We'll patch up the armor. But other than that, I think we're going to leave it as is. We are incredibly close to being able to afford the ship. We're basically 400 prestige away. To the point where at this point we're just waiting for it to tick over and the shipyard to have the ship that we want. So we're going to do a couple of missions sort of around home. I do want to get our X-type heavy cruiser, or not X-type heavy cruiser. I do want to get our King Condor in this episode. We have the money. We are in position. Let's do it. Do it. And we'll come up to speed. We're down to 2 pseudo-frigates now, so the fight is a little bit more dangerous. Increase the speed of time. See what card we get dealt. It's a heavy cruiser. It's a Marak heavy cruiser. Unless it's lying to me, which it could be. It is indeed lying to me. It is a pirate heavy cruiser. So apparently we are currently caught up doing a little bit of anti-piracy work. And set the torpedoes to the enveloping mode. Increase speed to full throttle. Now granted, we're only down to 2 pseudo-frigates, but maybe this will be a nice little introduction to what we can expect in the near future. 2, 4... Let's burn down his ECM, make sure that he can't do anything effective. Wow, he's putting a lot of power into that ECM. No, I'm going to match you on it every point for point. I am a dreadnought. I can do that. Okay, that may have been a bit long range. Will you respond to it? I hope you... Oh, wow. You are really interestingly armed. Okay, so he did respond to it. He dumped a wild weasel. We will now put out our harassing pseudo-frigates. So a little bit of a test to see how this is all going to work out when, well, basically we get a King Condor and this is all we have for support. I am going to miss having 4 of them. Having 4 of them is amazing. So turn on into him. Plasma torpedoes are ready to rock and roll. And he's now at the speed where he will no longer affect my plasma torpedoes, so I can fire everything we've got. Our pseudo-torpedo, or our enveloping torpedoes will of course hit before the incoming fire from our pseudo-frigates, which will cause monstrous damage. Set our torpedoes to normal mode, so they're not eating up a whole ton of power. And we'll just wait for you guys to start beating him to death. Come on, get in there. We've taken out all his shields. He's helpless. Unfortunately, we did not stay on the main course to just rip him apart with phaser fire from the forward batteries. But he does have hellbores, so that's going to be fun. The Free Spirit is the name of the vessel. And we're going to pull away. And hey, what you going to do with that? Do you know what that is? Do you have any clue? Well, he probably has a good idea. We are Romulans. It's a nuclear space mine. Touch it. I dare you. Are you guys going to get involved here? I mean, you do have plasma torpedoes you can engage with. And we're at a range of 8 and traveling in the same direction. Fire. Go on. There you go. Let him have it. Wait till you get to a distance of 1. Or not 1, but under 5. And firing into him, dealing a decent amount of damage. Not a whole ton, but, you know, decent amounts. That's all we're looking to do here. Nothing crazy. Pass on over him so we can get him with the stern phasers. It's kind of dangerous to do an overrun, but he's down to basically a quarter of his health. I'm not feeling too concerned about whatever he's got. And he's down to basically 1 phaser X. So we're pretty safe here. Unfortunately, the game has crashed. This is the second in a row that this game has crashed. And last time it was against Pirates as well. I'm getting a little concerned about this one. This is going to be one of our longer campaigns. I mean, already we've gone past everybody, or we're almost to the point where we've gone past everybody except the Federation. So it may be a sign of instability, but I'm really starting to think it's a pirate problem. Because the last mission we crashed, I wonder if it was against an OCX. I thought it was against a something with an A in it. I'm going to take a look at that. But hopefully this is not indicative of a trend. Unfortunately, this episode is going to turn out to be a little bit shorter than normal because of it. But also, hopefully, we can get past this. And next episode, King Condor, for sure. Almost positive. I mean, we've got the cash for it, so why not? Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment. How much do you hate it when older games don't work so great? And I will see you all in the next episode.